So I was thinking I might share this morning, and then David led that second song, and it talks about Jesus and all the good that he did for my soul, and like the half has never been told. So I was like, you know what, I can help out with that. So I wanted to share a quick story. I don't know, it might not be quick. I think I've earned some minutes. I don't talk much in sharing time. But I have a story to share, a God story, and this story is not about me, it's about God. And I want you to hear that as I share this story. Before I get into it, how many people in the crowd are scared of water? We have some. How many people are scared enough of water that you could easily and without thinking twice, clawing and scratching and biting people that are pushing you in? I'm one of those. Yes. All right. So that was my situation with water a year ago. And as you know, I'm training for this race, and it requires swimming, which was a big deal for me. A year ago in July, I went for swimming lessons down here in Abbeville just to learn how to swim. Joshua went with me. My wife went with me. Some of the kids were along. And I kind of sort of learned how to swim. And then I'm thinking, all right, I got this. And I go to the pool at the Y, where they have a lap pool, 25 yards. And my goal is to swim from one end to the other, and 3/4 of the pool is shallow enough I can just stand up, right? And there's just the last little bit that's 6 foot, where it gets a little bit too deep to just stand up and have your head out. And I got in the water and I took off, and man, I went not even halfway and I was done. Like I couldn't, I can't do this. I can't make it. So I struggled and struggled and struggled, didn't make any progress. And I was talking to my coach I was working with at the time, and he's like, Mike, are you doing everything you can? I'm like, yeah, I think. I'm going in there and thrashing around. And he says, do you have a wetsuit? I was like, yeah. Well, why aren't you wearing it? Like, that helps. Like, be nice to yourself. Do what you can. So I was like, all right. I look like an idiot wearing a wetsuit at the pool. But sure, whatever. Like, if that helps, who cares, right? So I put on my wetsuit, and I went to the Y, and I got in the pool. And yes, I did look like an idiot enough for one of the lifeguards to come over and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, I've seen you come in here multiple times, and now you have a wetsuit on. Like, what are you doing? So I told him that I'm signed up for a half Ironman race, and I'm supposed to learn how to swim and swim good enough to swim 1.5 miles. And he says, you need to talk to Kendrick. He's a coach here at the Y. He taught me everything I need to know. I know about swimming. I'm a competitive swimmer, and I'm really good. And I was still very cynical, and I was like, yeah, are you still good? Can you win? And he's like, yes, I can win. I've won multiple competitions. So he got me contact information, and I connected with Kendrick, and I started doing weekly sessions with Kendrick for $40 for a whole hour. It's really cheap. And he got me from where I was to where I could swim, relatively well. Still like far, far from where I needed to be. But I was able to get some laps done. But I still was not able to do my first official swim assessment, which consists of 16 laps without stopping, and then a break, and then 8 more. And I was getting closer and closer to my original race in December. Still haven't been able to do the assessment, just because I had so much fear and anxiety. I couldn't relax enough to get my form down and be able to swim that far. So I ended up rescheduling the race from last December to next month on the 17th. And then my Ironman coach that I'm working with early this year there's a swim school in Charlotte that he really wanted me to go to. He thought it would help me. So I was like, yeah, well, clearly I need help. So I paid the $600 and booked it. And then the time got closer and closer, and I was freaking out. I could feel the panic and the anxiety because I knew this pool, this was a real pool, like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The whole thing was deep, and I was going to be with other seasoned swimmers that are trying to shave seconds off of their swim time, and I'm going to be with coaches that have been coaching people for years, and the class was 8 hours of in the water time. I'm like, I can't do this. But I left all by myself, headed to Charlotte, and on the way up there, my stomach was in knots. I was almost throwing up. Anxiety was just taking over. So I was talking to God about this. And I'm like, God, I don't know what I'm doing going to this swim school. I can't do it. I'm just too scared. Thank you. And I don't know how God talks to you. God doesn't talk to me in audible voices, but I don't know. He kind of talks to me in my spirit, I guess. And I just heard clearly from God on that way up there. He's like, Mike, you can have the bike and the run if you need to in this race, but the swim is mine. And if you want to be able to do this swim, you're going to have to choose to just trust me. So I was like, okay, I've done that before. I can do that. So I got on up there. I got there early. I went in. I went to check the pool, and sure enough, what I had researched online was way too accurate. That pool was massive and deep, and the lifeguard told me, yeah, you guys are going to be at this end, and it was 13 feet deep at that end. The other end was 9 feet. So I messed around, waited till it was time for the class, and everybody got there. And I get out there, and here everybody's up at the other end of the pool. The lifeguard was wrong. We're actually in the 9-foot end. And I got in the pool, and I started doing the drills and the exercises, following instructions, and I was calm, and there was no fear, no anxiety, and I was like, man, I'm actually going to be able to do this. And I ended up thoroughly enjoying the entire class, and I got a sticker at the end of the class. And I'm the only one that got a sticker at the end of the class because I had the most improvement in my swim from before the class to after. And now my coach wants to do a write-up for me to share on their social media pages because of the progress I made. So then I came home feeling all positive about my swimming and how well I did. And, oh yeah, I can crush this. This is going to be awesome. And then I remembered that there is a wetsuit optional category for an Ironman swim. There's wetsuit legal, wetsuit optional, and then wetsuit not required. The wetsuit gives me buoyancy. It makes me feel safer in my head. Everything works better when I have a wetsuit on. I called my coach and I was like, Brian, why did you never tell me this? Like, is there any chance that this race in Chattanooga will not be at least wetsuit optional? And he's like, no, it's going to be at least wetsuit optional. It always is because it's in Chattanooga in May, like the water, because it's based on water temperature. So I was like, I'm going to do all my training in the wetsuit then because that's what I'm going to be using on race day. And he's like, yeah, you can do that. I'm like, bro, tell me this stuff. So I started wearing my wetsuit to the Y again, doing all of my swim workouts at the Y in my wetsuit. And I did my first assessment. I crushed it, had really good pace. My coach was happy. I was happy. I'm feeling positive. I had signed up for a sprint race, which is still a triathlon event, but it's just like a third of the distances of a half Ironman. But I wanted some race experience before I go do my big race. So that meant an open water swim, 800 yards, half a mile. And I was 3 weeks out. I was going to go do my first open water swim because now I got to transfer from the pool to the lake. So I went out to the lake feeling confident, like I'm going to crush this. I had Brady in a kayak to ride beside me, so I'm not out in the water by myself. And I get out there and get in Lake Secession, and I start swimming and immediately completely fritzed out. It was so different from the pool. I couldn't see, I couldn't stay oriented, it was so different. It was like I was back to square one. And it started all over again. The anxiety, the panic, the fear. I went out and I tried again, I couldn't do it. I would just freak out immediately, and it was so bad. I couldn't eat. My stomach was in knots, fixing to throw up. I couldn't think straight. I was ready to quit the entire thing because I chose the wrong thing. This isn't for me. I'm not made for swimming. And a wise man changes his mind, right? So I'm texting my life coach that I had been working with last year. I was like, Sebastian, I think I just picked the wrong thing. Like, would it be a problem if I just do the smart thing and pick something that fits me better? He gave me no mercy, not one little bit. He's like, Mike, you got so far, you want to quit now? You want to choose something? You want to choose comfort over following through on a commitment you made? What are you going to do next time something comes up and you face something in life that's difficult? Are you going to choose comfort again? What are you teaching your kids about how to handle hard things in life? Is it okay to just choose comfort? Is that who you want to be? I was like, no, but shut up. I don't want to hear that. Because I can't do this. I can't. And so Thursday night, my race, where I was going to have to do an open water swim, was Saturday morning. Thursday night, I drove out to Lake Secession and I just sat there. And I realized that I was feeling exactly the same way that I had been feeling on that ride up to Charlotte when God told me, Mike, the race is mine. The swim is mine. If you want to do this swim, you're going to have to trust me. And I remembered that at that point. I don't know why I didn't remember it before. But I remembered that. And so, once again, I decided yes, I know how to choose trust. I'll choose trust again. I have no idea how it makes any sense. And after I went through that mental shift of, okay, I'm going to choose trust. I'm just going to keep going. What happens, happens. I don't know what's going to happen. But my mind kind of cleared up. And I realized that all of the training I've been doing was to learn how to swim, to move through the water as fast and efficiently as possible. I didn't spend any time just being comfortable in the water. And so I was in this weird position where I had to either be swimming hard or hanging on to something. Well, that's a problem. If you're swimming out across a lake and you get tired and you need a break and there's nothing to hang on to, what are you going to do? So I was like, I'm going to come back out here tomorrow morning. It was dark at this point, and I'm not going to try to swim. This would be Friday morning. And I'm just going to practice just being comfortable in the water and relaxing with my wetsuit on. So I went out the next morning. Arlen went with me. That was nice. And I swam a little bit, but I just spent probably, hour and a half, 2 hours, just swimming a little bit, flipping on my back. I discovered with my wetsuit, I can just lay out there and I just bob like a cork. I can breathe, I can relax. And so it's like, okay, so I might not get the swim done unless a miracle happens, but I'm not going to die. Like, if I get tired, if I freak out, if there's anxiety, I know now I can just flip on my back and I can just lay there. So like, all right, and I'm there looking. I'm in there at the lake, looking at. I did the measurements. So like tomorrow morning, I know I got to swim from here to way the other side, and then way over here, and then all the way back here. 100% impossible. Never did it. Makes no sense at all. But let's get out of the water. It's time to go up to North Carolina and get ready for the race. But we get up there. We got there early enough, and I was doing this race with a friend. This was the other thing that God did for me that made me just muscle through it and go ahead. Because I was texting my friend, and I was like, look, I'm seriously freaked out about this water. I'm not ready. I think I got to cancel because I'm not ready. And he's like, come on, man. You'll be fine. I was like, can you swim right beside me? I breathe on the right. I was like, can you swim right beside me so that I can see you and I know I'm headed in the right direction? I don't have to worry about sighting, because that's the thing with open water swims. Like, if you're supposed to go here and you go over here, which is really easy to do, like, that's a problem. And he's like, yeah, man, I'll stay right with you. I'll drag you if I need to. It's like, all right. We get up there Friday night, and we had just enough time left to get out in the lake that the swim was going to be in for a practice swim. I got out there and took off swimming. Zero panic, zero anxiety, nothing. I was 100% calm. It was just gone. And I swam way out. And back, we were out in the water for, probably 20 minutes. And I got back, and I was just kind of in shock. It's like, this isn't normal. I don't know what's going on here. And then I noticed my friend's swim cap was a different color than mine that we got from the race, which meant he was in a different group. And I was like, Brooks, this is a problem. You're in a group ahead of me. You're not going to be swimming with me. And he's like, you'll be fine. You swim faster than me. You'll catch up with me in 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, right. How am I going to find your head out of 500 other heads? But I remembered that I had decided to choose trust, and I was becoming suspicious that God had done a miracle for me. So the next morning, I got in my group, he got in his group, and his horn went. He hit the water, took off. My horn went. I hit the water, took off. I stayed all the way at the back, and it is a madhouse when 100 people get into the water at the same time. I saw people clawing all over each other, running into each other. It was like, there's no way. I was the last one in the water. And I did that entire swim without finding my friend. I did it all by myself. It took me almost twice as long as it should have. I went slow. I took breaks. But there was zero panic. There was zero anxiety. I didn't hang on to one of the kayaks or paddle boards that are there for people to hang on to once. And I was not the last one out of the water. And I have not had to deal with anxiety about water since then. Last week on Friday, I went out to Lake Secession and I swam almost a mile. I was 110 yards short of a mile. God did that miracle for me. And this morning I told God, you know what? You did so well with this swim. You can have my bike and my run too. You can just have it all. I'll let you have it all. So for the first time since I started training in July last year, I am really excited about my race in Chattanooga next month on May 17th. If any of you guys want to come experience that race with me, you are more than welcome. It would be great to see your faces in the crowd. But I know it's a lot of school stuff going on that weekend, so it probably won't work for most people. Cold Springs was actually really sweet and moved their graduation night from Sunday night to Friday night to accommodate my race. I couldn't believe it. I thought they didn't change. So, anyways, I'm done. That's God's story that I wanted to share with you this morning. So you can rejoice with me in God's goodness. I took most of the sharing time. I think we have a few minutes left if anybody else has something they want to share before we break for Sunday school. There's plenty of 75-year-olds that do it, David.